Before you know in which direction to sail, first of all, you need to know where you're located. Because the journey is not for everyone the same. Ultimate plan, which direction to travel, is something everyone personally must do. But therefore, in order for you to know, to now start and making up the plan where the journey is going to go, number one, we figure out what is our current state. I do think that if you are looking at the world already with predetermined concepts, looking at the world already with some type of expectation, then it's going to be very difficult to really see how the things are. That many emotional states, many thoughts that are coming, they come and they go. None of them lasts. If you think this world is about you, think again. Maybe you misunderstood something. If you can't handle the little things, you will not be able to handle the big things. That's just how it is. So that means the small things matter. The more your willingness and your ability to let go, the more changes are gonna come. It's just like this. For new things to come, old things must go. And now, just as I mentioned, there is the willingness, first of all, to let go. And then there is your skill level, your abilities. Can you, even if you want? And there it is now also good to know. By practicing certain methods, many of them that I told you already, many of them that are also available. By using them, there is a certain degree that you can already help or support yourself in letting go, learning what does it mean to let go. But sometimes there are also things that are caught within us that you just cannot reach by yourself. And this is the moment where sometimes you need support, where sometimes even if the willingness is there and you even maybe can see what it is that is stuck inside of you, but sometimes you need a person, more persons, or sometimes you need an additional support to get rid of it. So this is also important really to understand. I think one of the main hindrances, I would call it like this, what is hindering someone to get answers or to get to the methods? I think it is the lack of time that you are spending in investigating yourself. Yeah, meaning too many things nowadays are outsourced. You are outsourcing maybe your happiness to outside circumstances. You are outsourcing your health to outside circumstances. Yeah, so you are outsourcing a lot of things where we think, yeah, but they should belong into your hands. I cannot imagine somebody, this powerful nature, this force of the universe is putting you as a human being on this earth incomplete, meaning incomplete to deal with the challenges that this world is going to offend you with. So what I'm talking about is, for example, the immune system. I think when you have the right methods to improve, to boost up your immune system, you can face a lot of different sicknesses by yourself. Doesn't mean that you should only rely on this, but it's already a big part that can help you. A great power lies in the ability. When you spend more time with yourself, you will realize that a lot of medicine, a lot of high technology is already embedded inside of your body, inside of yourself. Yeah, but it is like a trend anyway, that many things are outwards oriented, but which is very normal. This is what we say. In the morning when you wake up, it is something very, very natural that's happening, that you open up the eyes, you get out of the bed, and so then it starts to be normal that you are interested in what's going on out there. Which means you look at the mobile phone, you look at the television, you look outside, you listen to things that are around you. That means awareness is naturally driven outwards of you in the moment where we wake up. So it's natural. This is the natural state. Like I said, if you don't pay attention, it's getting out of you. Therefore, what is it that the first step I would suggest somebody is doing, and what is also lacking nowadays is the time that you realize this, to just realize one part of human existence. Is it that our awareness is naturally being driven outwards? So in order to create the balance, what we do with all the different types of methods is to regulate this, to regulate and keep an eye on the amount of time and on the amount of awareness that we are allowing ourselves to get lost out there. So that means, first of all, it's important that you see it on yourself first, which means you don't turn the view out there and look out. The first thing to do is you turn around and see yourself, because then in the moment where you are doing this, you are going to see yourself. And this is the beginning, where once you spend time with yourself, the insight comes. Because all the time we are interested in seeing what is everything existing out there. Yeah. And it is one approach. This approach is that things are becoming, even the traveling, the journey becomes quite long and quite big the more far we go out. So it's like, first I stay inside my monastery. When I go out, I'm going to be inside this village. I go out, I'm going to be inside Germany. I go out, then I'm in Europe. I go out, then I'm on the earth, on all different continents. Then I go more out, then I'm in the solar system already. Then I go more out, then I'm in the Milky Way. Then I go more out, then you are in many different galaxies. Then you go more out. It's getting always bigger and bigger and bigger. This is also an interesting way of spending your life, yeah. But there is one thing which not everybody is able to afford, this type of traveling. Yeah, maybe Elon Musk, he is, yeah. But not everybody has this technological and also financial capabilities to make this type of journey. But now the interesting part is that in the Asian culture, we are saying the so-called macrocosmos, that the world is always getting bigger on the one side, is actually like a mirror to the so-called microcosmos. And microcosmos means it is now not the journey where you travel outwards, it is the journey where you are traveling inwards. And instead of things becoming more big, you watch inwards, things becoming more fine, you become more refined. So first of all, you realize, okay, I have the body. Then you watch in. Oh, I have the skeleton. I have the muscles. I have the fascia. I have the organs. I have all the blood vessels. I have the energy systems. And you get more deep and more deep. And there you realize also different things inside of you. You go down, maybe you meet some atoms. Inside the atoms, you have the proton, the neutron, the electron. You go even smaller, then you maybe have the quantums and the quarks. I don't know. The funny part is, on the one side it always gets smaller, on the other side it always gets bigger. But those two things still have something in common, which is, just as an example, cyclic movement seems to play a very important role. Doesn't matter in which world you are now. When you are in the outside world, yeah, our earth is turning, yeah, we are turning around the sun, the solar system is turning, our clock is turning, a lot of things are turning, yeah, and you go down, our respiratory system is connected in a circle, let's say, the inhalation, the exhalation, our heart, how the heart is pumping the blood, let's say, through our body, is also a circular system. And the digestive system, the way how we exchange energy with our surrounding, get it to us, yeah, it's happening in cyclic movement. The atoms are moving in cyclic movements. So there is something in both of these areas that remains the same. And this is one type of where I say to investigate and understand the rules on which you play the chess, or on which this life is based upon. Because then things become a little bit more helpful. Because once you know that there is this cyclic movement always and always, then at the same time you also know, if you do not want to waste energy, you try to reduce, for example, the amount of linear behavior, linear movement that you are doing in this lifetime. Meaning you investigate something that ultimately anyway comes to a hard stop. Yeah, but what does this hard stop mean? It means that all the energy that you have invested on one point is just going to vanish. Yeah, but this is kind of pointless. So what is it that you can then do? Transform. That's why we call it transformation is something really important. Because transformation only means it maybe doesn't look like the initial investment of your energy. It is because this energy is able to take different forms and different shapes. But it's still the same investment from your lifetime that you gave into this life. Right now, we have 8 billion people in this world. Everybody has his own ideas and his own expectations, maybe, how he sees himself and what he would like to do with himself during this lifetime. So that means we have 8 billion different ideas. And one misconception maybe, or just something to meditate about, to contemplate about is, why would this world, why would this life, or even this universe, now I express it a little bit in a negative way maybe, but why should this life care about an individual's expectation about life? And now we're not just having one, we're having 8 billion individual expectations about life. But for me, in my mind, it's just like, we are talking right now about the creator of everything. The creator of the universe, the creator of the planets, of the humans, of the animals, of the plants, of all possibilities in this world. We are talking about this type of force in comparison to the expectation of an individual human. I'm not sure who's in the more powerful position at the moment. I mean, I am sure. The thing is just, I don't think that this type of force is existing in this world in order to fulfill that individual person's expectation about life. I think it's the other way around. I think that you have been put here on this world as a small individual in order now to be open, in order to receive what that force has to offer you in this lifetime. Which means you are walking through this lifetime without an own idea, more or less, what to do with your life. You are open to receive what this life in a way has to offer you. And how do you know that you are getting these messages, or how do you know that you are on this path that I'm trying to at least present it a little bit graspable to you? Just imagine you are working on a project, no matter what type of project that is. You invest a lot of effort, a lot of time and a lot of energy into this project. But no matter how hard you try, you are not succeeding somehow. Even though you watch around, other people make similar projects, but they invest way less energy than you do, but they are succeeding. Or you're already together the third or fourth time together with a partner. The first 3 times you broke up because you realized there is something which apparently is not fitting. But because of your hope, you go the 4th time into this relationship. But again, you're just about to feel that something is not resonating there. And no matter how much you try, it is hard for you to make it work. And often in such situations, then you might ask, yeah, I'm working so hard. Why am I not deserving finally the success of my work? Or when it comes to the partnership, why don't I deserve to have this partner, this woman or this man in my life? This is the one way how you could ask. Or you turn around and ask it in a different way. Maybe this universe doesn't want you to succeed in exactly this project. The universe wants you to succeed, but not in that project. You have disciplined your mind. You have taken your own responsibility into your hands, that the life quality, the way how you are perceiving this lifetime, it's up to you. It's up to your practice. It's not to wait until the outside circumstances and your government and this world is going to create your dream world. It's not going to happen. It's about how can you contribute? How can you as an individual contribute to bring out this world that you imagine how it should be. And this is how I see, for example, why I'm doing this type of work. I am trying to share out what I think is missing. And this is just for my part. I think this is missing. I want to see it more in the world, in my dream world. That's why I contribute to make this dream world now start to manifest a little bit. Yeah. And this is how I think, at least for me, is quite a fulfilling way, because I don't wake up and like have the feeling I'm wasting my lifetime. Because this probably would be like one thing. Sometimes I think when I look into the future, one of the worst things that could ever happen is that you one time just wake up, are old already, look back at your lifetime, and then you start regretting that you didn't do something with your life. This is really something that I don't want to be in. That's why right now I'm already very careful in what do I invest my lifetime. If it's not important to me, then I don't do it. If I think it is something that gives me additional value, then I do it. Everyone has the possibility to unlock something very, very special about him or herself. And it's up to your actions. Ultimately, it's you yourself who also is able to unlock it. Sometimes you need the key to unlock it. It's not that you cannot do it. The problem is only you don't know how. You don't know where to start. You don't know where to look. And this is why sometimes in this lifetime you are meeting someone that we call a teacher, that we sometimes call a master. It was you who put the effort into doing the training, doing the research, doing the work. Ultimately, it was you, but it was him or her that gave you that spark, that gave you that key, that you eventually started doing it. And this is why sometimes you need these people, because they hold the key for you to enter into the next door. They are the gate holders, the gatekeepers. And why is it that we then start to follow that master? Because he has the key to be able and take that decision. Are you going to go for it or not? But being asleep all the time is difficult. Yeah, and that is the reason you don't want to sleep right now. You want to be awake. You want to be awake and you want to be clear. Being awake and clear. Now your life is in your hands. Being numb, being under drugs, be awake and be clear, and then fill up your energy tank. How can someone now who finds himself in this type of darkness, so what can he do? And there I can really only say there are a lot of different methods out there, and every door needs one certain key. Sometimes the Shaolin methods are not always the proper ones to just be offered to anyone. Sometimes it just doesn't fit. So if I right now just replace that word darkness with the term that something is closed, the possibilities are closed because there's nothing to see. You don't know what to do. So what are we doing in the different methods now in the Shaolin Temple? Number one step is open the body or open the human. Open the human not only in terms of physically opening, meaning stretch open the muscles, stretch open the tendons, stretch open the ligaments, open really the body, open the lungs that more oxygen can come in. But also means open the mind. Open the mind meaning to realize whenever you are in a way limiting your views, for example, limiting your own perspective. And by regularly practicing, every day we have exercises to open the body. Every day we take care that we are opening and stay with the open mind. This openness after time is something that we are then starting to incorporate into our being, into our daily life. And this is what opens then the doors again. The more open you become, the more you will see once again the possibilities that are out there. Practically speaking, what should you do? Increase the level of activity. If somebody finds himself in a too dark place, increase the amount of activity, which means spend a lot of time outside while the sun is shining where there are a lot of people. The opposite is you're in a dark place and you stay at home in your four walls. For some time, it's sometimes necessary, but this is not going to be the solution. If you by yourself cannot create that light, then we have to somehow try that the circumstances on the outside help you, support you a little bit along this way. I think the human is able to develop and learn so many different things when the willingness is there. When you are willing to learn, you are willing to learn, and afterwards you put that willingness into a form. Willingness into a form means you make a plan, a simple daily plan. Tomorrow I'm dedicating 5 minutes to practice it. The day after, another 5 minutes. After that week, 10 minutes every day. And this you keep, no matter what, no excuse. Everyone is old enough to make a plan where you can put 5 minutes into your daily schedule that is just unchanged for the next months. I don't see a problem with this. But sometimes we're too compulsive. Sometimes you do have a plan, but then somebody calls you. You receive a message, something comes in between, and suddenly the plan is gone. If you have this type of commitment, why would you even call it commitment? The human mind is not made to stay at one place at one time. The commitment knows it. That's why we give it. This is why we say, okay, I commit to it. Because I know that hard times will come, that I will find excuses why not to make it. That I will have days I'm not in the mood to practice it. I know these times are going to come, but this is why you do the commitment. There is a history in all of us which cannot be changed, which means where we come from, what type of genes has been given to us. Yes, but at the same time, I also think that everyone in this world is absolutely free to express themselves in whatever way they feel like. It's just the fact that I can also see that some virtues, not even virtues that are being represented from the Shaolin temple, but general virtues within the society are starting to too much become mixed up and starting also to like disappear. And therefore, I think it was a really good question to sometimes pay attention to the fact that what has been given to you sometimes needs some care. When it becomes your habit, automatically a different quality starts to emanate from you. Increase this type of quality, then I think this is what you should do. You don't jump around too much. You are not undecided. Before you talk, you think. Before you talk, you think. You don't just let it flow out. But once it is said, it's backed up with action. If this pattern is continuously repeating, what is the way out? It's not by adding something on top of it. Because it seems like it's always about adding something more. You are learning something because you think you are missing it. You are going to another country because you think you are missing that experience. You are trying out another type of food because you think you are missing that taste. So that means the general idea, which is at the moment existing, is every time when we as humans feel something is lacking, the answer is just consume more. This is not about giving. It's about taking. It's about taking away everything that is in front of a person's eye that has covered up the clear view upon how this world, how your internal nature, how your emotions, your mindset is all connected with each other. The reason why I talk, which seems like I'm giving out something. No, I'm not giving out. I'm just saying something in order for you yourself to let something fall, to realize for yourself that there was something in the mind, there was a concept, a belief system, a way of thinking inside of you all the time already, that maybe now you realize that one has no fundament anymore. Actually, it is blocking me more than it actually does help me. You think that because we are so well connected everywhere in the world, you can access quite a lot of information just by going on Google or on YouTube. Of course, it feels like that you are independent because you have access to the whole world just by sitting at home. Yes, this is a trend. This is a development which is going on now for quite some time and will still go on in the future until it will shift. And you will realize how much of a fantasy and how much of an illusion it is to think that you can live a life, or that living a life means that you are sitting at the chair, looking at the whole world and being connected with the world through the screen. This is not living a life. This is you are living an illusion in this life. To live a life is you look at your hands, you look at your body, and you go out of the house. You do the steps. You do what makes your body sweat. You breathe in the air. You have physical contact with people. You talk face to face with people. This is living life. The other thing is sad. So the result of if something is too dark is it's very difficult to actually distinguish anything. What are your possibilities in the darkness? Because you don't see any direction. You don't see objects in the darkness. So what therefore the approach is, what therefore I think must be done is, no matter which method you're using, you need to light up that space. So either you find a way to really light up that space so that in such a way that darkness slowly disappears and you slowly start to see what is in that room, what is in that space. That is the first possibility. Or the second one would be that you are developing yourself and are equipping yourself with some type of skills that gives you better abilities to see in the dark. Traditionally, from the Buddhist teaching, it's called karma. It's a concept which sometimes is also related to the principle of cause and effect. Maybe I mentioned it in some of the videos before, but it's still very, very useful to understand it. It is just saying that nothing happens out more or less only by coincidence. Things start to happen because their constellation or because something has lined up in just the proper way for it to now fulfill itself. And so we say, when you plant the apple seed, the chances are high that you can get an apple tree. And when you are planting an orange seed, you can also have the potential to get that orange tree. And now the question is, how good, when you watch out in this life and when you watch out at yourself, can you see all these things that needed to be lined up in order for you, let's say, to succeed in something particular? And so there it also comes to, it has also something to do maybe with strategy, or maybe with the ability to read the signs of this life. And the better, like in the chess game, the better you can read the signs, the better you understand how that game there works, the higher the possibilities are that this game is going to end in the way how you imagine this game to end, meaning that you're the winner. If you don't know how the rules of the games are, if you cannot read the other person, if you don't even know yourself good enough, I think you're going to make quite a lot of mistakes in that game. Many people nowadays maybe think also you need to live in the monastery, or maybe shave your head and be monk or live like a monk. Well, let's say like this, it helps. It helps because all of this only means that for some period in your life, you don't care, let's say, what style you have. You're not interested to have a relationship at those moments. So at the end, it's really just about that you have some dedicated time where you say, first of all, I invest in myself. 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. So, but ultimately, everything that we try to share from the methods in this monastery, everybody should be able to use it. To live inside the monastery,
This has never been and will never be something for the mainstream, yeah? Only crazy ones like me do this. There's for everyone, there's something. So that's the point. And this is why it also makes sense then to why at all I think there are methods that can be shared to the public. Some things it's not interesting for them because nobody would really have the time to practice these things. But other things, it's good and important to know. And somewhere there we need to find the balance for what to share out and what remains inside the temple walls. Yeah, and now, for example, when I talk about the retreat and getting away for some time from this outside world, yeah, what does it mean? It really means you go, in our case, you're inside this monastery. You are not leaving this monastery. You are not spending too much time, let's say, on the smartphone or on the internet, or even you don't watch any movies or any television or any shows. So you are very careful about where are you spending your time actually in those 24 hours day that you have. Yeah. Let's say in winter time, you sleep 8 hours, 9 hours, okay? Still afterwards, you have 15 hours. What are you doing with those 15 hours? So normally the daily schedule is really like this, that at around 6 in the morning, normally my disciples and the novices, they already start to stand up. Because 6 o'clock until 7 is the time where, first of all the animals in this monastery need to be taken care of. Meaning the food for the horses, the food for the dogs, the food for the cats. This is what's happening between 6 and 7. Other ones are preparing the breakfast at that time, because 7 o'clock then is breakfast. And then starting from 8 o'clock until 11, this is like the first morning session for training. Summertime, wintertime, it's a little bit different, but at the moment we're starting normally with the meditation. So sitting meditation, very calm, warming up the body just gently, but then afterwards it's just sitting calm and just breathing. This is how the day starts. And then comes like the physical training, like you saw it before, a little bit more active, and also depending on what is it that this student, for example, wants to develop at the moment. Yeah, so sometimes we have group training, but sometimes we also have individual training where you have to take care of yourself, where you want to proceed. And 11 until 1, so which is where we are at this moment, is normally the working time. Working time, which means emails need to be answered. Then just the general work that needs to be done inside the household in terms of vacuuming the floor, cleaning the windows, washing the toilets, washing the clothes, going shopping. That takes place now in that 11 to 1 period. And 1 o'clock is lunchtime. After lunchtime, we normally have a break until 3 o'clock. And then 3 o'clock until around 5 o'clock is again a training time. Yeah. Training time, and 6 o'clock we have dinner, and then a short break, and 7 until 9 is again a next block where it's dedicated for practice. So there are actually 3 blocks of practices every day, and they can differ, because when I talk about practice, it's not just about physical practice. It can also mean it's something that you practice which is good for your mind. Sometimes you practice something which is good for the way how you are breathing. Sometimes you practice something which is then eventually good for your mood. Sometimes you practice something which is then really physically good for the way how you look. So practice for me is just that you are developing something on you, not just like physically speaking. So, and this is what the practice times are dedicated for. So that doesn't always mean that we go for running or just like doing push-ups or doing weight training or doing kicking and punching. This is one way of training. But like I said also, this complete way of thinking And what is like really important also to share to the people outside there, because I don't think that the majority of people is interested in punching and kicking. No, it is about to just get access to more different methods that you can use in order to improve the way how this life feels to you. This is the main point of all of these practices. So it doesn't matter how your life look at the moment, but what we all have the same is you have a body, I have a body. And there are methods to keep the body healthy. You have a mind, I have a mind. And there are ways how to develop the mind in such a way that you don't make too many mistakes when it comes to taking decisions. Meaning, there are ways how to take decisions that afterwards you are not going to regret. That can, for example, means it's better to take decisions in a state of the mind that we would call it, it's a clear mind. It's not a mind which is like based upon emotion. Not a mind that was just angry a few seconds before. Yeah. So then people have different emotions, we have different emotions. Nevertheless, taking decisions out of emotion is not a good idea. Yeah. Everybody has organs, we have organs. Everybody has muscles, we have muscles. Yeah. And therefore this is what it's about. To go deeper into yourself and try to penetrate all the layers that are making you become who you are. And all these areas can be trained and should be trained. It's about the life quality of each individual. That's what is the important part, the life quality. It's not about the punching and it's not about the kicking. But life quality sometimes can also mean you just feel more stable, you just feel better, that when you go somewhere, you know that you are feeling strong, you are feeling ready, you feel that you are able to protect the ones that you like. So that means that you are feeling strong, that you feel solid, that you feel prepared. This can also have a significant influence in the way of your life quality, in the way of how you are like walking through this lifetime. Be stable. And these are simple things right now. Why all the disciples, all the students that I have here, why I want them to also learn about the martial arts. Because this is what it's about. You want to develop your body in such a way that you feel strong, that you feel vital. But not just that you feel like this, it's also important that you really are strong and vital in comparison to yourself if you would not do the training. That's important. So all this martial art training, it is about, in ancient times, it was about preparing and forging your body in such a way that you become a weapon, or that your limbs, your body becomes suitable to use it as a weapon. It doesn't mean you have to do it. It just means you need to forge it like this, first of all. This is why still nowadays, 1,500 years, even after the original founding of the tradition in China, we are still keeping up exactly these training methods. Because to express physical strength absolutely has an impact upon how strong your mind is. It's not the only one, but it certainly is like related. It's called, in the past, it's called warrior monk. Yeah, so normally when we translate it, it's called warrior monk. So if you take it literally, or if you read it in this way, it means number one is there is a warrior. Okay, that's it. First of all, there is a warrior. So now whatever that warrior means to you, number one, there is the warrior, and then there's the monk. So it's a warrior who lives as a monk, which means he has the capacity, he has the potential of bringing out the warrior, but he doesn't do it. Why not? Because martial arts, the practice of the wushu, or being a warrior, very often warrior, yes, also including the word war. We don't want war. It's not what we want. Because in this war, people get hurt. In this war, you have even more suffering, yes. So the warrior normally is, sometimes we can call it, it's the dark side of you. It is the dark side of a person. The only difference why it's called warrior and it's not called, let's say, a demon is because sometimes demons are controlling you. A warrior is different. It's the same type of power. It's the same type of force, but you are in control of it. So you have disciplined the dark side of yourself. This is the warrior part. And that means, but because you know that when you bring this out, it can cause a lot of suffering. It can cause a lot of harm also if you use it in the wrong way. That's why it's not our aim to bring out that warrior at all times. But you need to be able to at least have that spark inside of you that when somebody starts to hurt people in your surrounding, in your family, you need to have this fire and bring out then the warrior. Yeah. This is how I would express it. And it's better that you control this type of energy than you have no control over this energy. Yeah. But every human has it. If you are provoking a person just long enough, it's gonna come out. And what comes out there, now the question is, who is controlling it? And yeah, some are called controlled by demons and other ones control themselves. But the force is the same. It's very powerful.
Thank you so much to Master Shi Heng Yi. Today's video was sponsored by mulliganbrothers.com, the best motivational clothing brand in the world, where you can now get the Rise and Grind series, the Hardest Worker in the Room series, and the Inspire Change series. And if you are lucky, there are also some books available on the website. All that support goes back into making these projects possible, and hopefully we'll make a future project possible with Master Shi Heng Yi. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Okay, go. It's called warrior monk. Yeah, so normally when we translate it, it's called warrior monk. So if you take it literally, or if you read it in this way, it means number one is there is a warrior. Okay, that's it. First of all, there is a warrior. So now whatever that warrior means to you, number one, there is the warrior. And then there's the monk. So it's a warrior who lives as a monk, which means he has the capacity, he has the potential of bringing out the warrior, but he doesn't do it. Why not? Because martial arts, the practice of the wushu, or being a warrior, very often warrior, yes, also including the word war. We don't want war. It's not what we want. Because in this war, people get hurt. In this war, you have even more suffering, yes? So the warrior normally is, sometimes we can call it, it's the dark side of you. It is the dark side of a person. The only difference why it's called warrior and it's not called, let's say, a demon is because sometimes demons are controlling you. A warrior is different. It's the same type of power. It's the same type of force, but you are in control of it. So you have disciplined the dark side of yourself. This is the warrior part. And that means, but because you know that when you bring this out, it can cause a lot of suffering. It can cause a lot of harm also if you use it in the wrong way. That's why it's not our aim to bring out that warrior at all times. But you need to be able to at least have that spark inside of you that when somebody starts to hurt people in your surrounding, in your family, you need to have this fire and bring out then the warrior. This is how I would express it. And it's better that you control this type of energy than you have no control over this energy. Yeah? But every human has it. If you are provoking a person just long enough, it's gonna come out. And what comes out there, now the question is, who is controlling it? And yeah, some are called controlled by demons and other ones control themselves. but the force is the same. It's very powerful.
In the core, maybe there is the warrior, but the way how he behaves, it's the monk. On an average daily life, he's peaceful, but only because he decides to be peaceful, but he is still able to tap into the other area. That is the difference. And so sometimes, and one of my masters that I appreciate very much, he really said it straight out like this. If somebody starts to attack your family, you need to be able to protect your family. And this type of power, you just don't have it if you don't cultivate it.
That type of spirit to not give up when the times are getting hard. It's not just the Shaolin who are living this type of spirit, but they also possess it. Because this is what makes the difference between someone that we call a warrior and maybe another person. Somebody that we call who succeeds and somebody you maybe call today a loser. The difference is both are going to come to the point where they are facing the challenge and when they are maybe facing also their defeat for the first time. The only difference is that the warrior keeps going, and somebody who does not have enough courage, who does not have enough discipline, who does not have willpower, maybe he just does not have the power anymore to keep on going and going and going after he failed so many times. But because of these failures, because there is something inside of you which feels that you don't want to fail the fourth and fifth and sixth time anymore. Because of this, something else inside of you starts to become very, very strong. And once again, and then you only need to keep repeating and going. Repeating and going. Don't lose sight. Don't lose sight.
It is giving you confidence. It is giving you some ease to just know that yes, sometimes you go out into this crazy world. You can't control other people. You can control yourself, yes. And exactly because of this, you don't know who you are going to meet out there. Not everybody is peaceful to you. So it is just giving you an easy mind to at least know if comes up any situation where you would need to just take care of the beloved ones around you, that you are able to do it. You don't have to do it. You are able to do it. This is what gives you that ease. This is what gives you the freedom to walk out there without having fear all the time. But if you have no abilities, if you have no skills, and then somebody just says, hey, look, don't go to this Otterberg. It's a very dangerous city. No, you would never come to this city here. Already just because of the fear. But this is not freedom. Freedom is you can conquer all of this. Why? Because you have the ability to do it. Because you have developed yourself to not let fear determine your life. And now this is not something that just comes from the Shaolin Temple. It's just our approach to it. But fear is just nothing to let your life be determined by. Yeah.
Thank you for watching Monk Mindset. If you enjoyed the video, please consider going to mulliganbrothers.com, where you can now buy the new Inspire Change t-shirts, the LFG t-shirts, the Hardest Worker in the Room t-shirts.
If somebody finds himself in that place of darkness, light up that space. To grow, to open up is the same as to bring light into the things. Right now, you are not feeling well. You are suffering, you are not sleeping well, you are not in the mood to do anything. There is that type of restlessness of the mind. It's too dark. There are people that went through these type of situations but found a way to move on. What did they do? This is what matters to me. I think it's not going to happen if you have a person who during the lifetime is used to waste a lot of energy, waste a lot of lifetime. Even if you give him an afterlife, it's going to be the same. From where should this switch of mentality suddenly come? Waiting for better times to come, that you change something about you, is not going to happen. It's an illusion. You want to bring out something good, the better version about yourself. It's not going to happen in the next life. What you do right now, this is what you take to whatever gonna come afterwards. There is something we need to learn. And that one is rain. R-A-I-N. Rain. The R is standing for recognize. Whatever emotional state comes up. Happiness, sadness, fear, depression, jealousy, rain. R, recognize. Recognize first of all, what type of feeling is it that's coming up. The A is standing for acknowledge or accept. If there is fear, if there is jealousy, if there is anger, if there is something and you realize it about yourself, number one is you accept it. You say, yes, okay, at this moment I feel really angry. Yeah, I feel really sad. I feel the fear which is coming up. So that acknowledgement, meaning you try to stop yourself from trying to separate it, because you can only adjust something if it is a part of you. Only if I have a connection to my emotion, to my state, only then I can change it. This is why that word A, that acknowledgement or that acceptance, is something which is like really important. Then the I is standing for investigation. Investigation means you recognize it, you accepted it, and now you investigate. Investigate can mean you ask the questions a detective would ask you. Why? Why is it coming up? Because of what did it come up? What did it trigger? Could it be that there is something in the past that now led to the fact that it's coming up inside of you? Investigation about that field of emotion that came up there. And the last one now, the N, is normally standing in Buddhist terms for non-identification. So non-identification means if you think something, you are able to recognize it. That means if we go to the cinema and you watch an action movie, then you can see on the screen, you have on the screen the action images. Sometimes you go to the cinema, but on the screen you have a horror movie. So on the screen are running different images. But all these images are only possible to be seen because the background of the action movie and of the horror movie is the screen. If you take the screen away, it doesn't matter what image you are projecting, there is nothing that's able to project it. So that screen is the same like in the Chinese or in the Asian ways. We sometimes say the clouds, they are like the thoughts, but the thoughts, they can only appear, or the clouds can only appear because the underlying big is the sky. So there are the clouds within the sky. There are the images of the movie on the screen, and there are the emotions that come up on behalf of your perception that is existing. So that means what you have, what we all have, is we are able to perceive. And some people, based on something that is triggering them, sometimes they perceive the anger coming up. They perceive the sadness is coming up. So these emotional states, they can be perceived. If they can be perceived, then it means they are not you, because you are the one who sees them. And non-identification means that you can witness for yourself that these things are like clouds that sometimes pop up in the sky. And just like every cloud ever on this earth, neither of these clouds ever stayed. It's only sometimes a sequence, an episode within your lifetime. And this idea of non-identification is something that is relating into this direction. Yeah, meaning that you understand, that you see why this fear came up, with what it is related to, and ultimately also see that there is no substance to it. They see no other option. It's like a one-way street. And this is something that I think with the opening of possibilities, they need to be educated just in the same way. That's all what this is about. People need to know options. If nobody puts additional options in their minds, they cannot see it by themselves. And intention is what fuels life. Intention fuels life. you want to have quality life, and that automatically only means for me, you fill up every moment and everything that you do. You are the one who fills it up with quality. You don't wait for anything to happen to make something be out of quality. You are the one, we are the one who can fill up whatever we're doing with quality. Everywhere we try to put as much as we can. That reminder inside again. Be mindful. Know what you're doing. Put intention behind it. Don't do things empty. No matter what it is that reminder. It is up to your intention. It is your thoughts that is fueling the quality of life. And therefore, these are always just reminders. That's why we need to have structures. We need to have some method to reconnect us again. That remind us again. Remember, mindfulness is key. Intention is key. Be mindful. Remember yourself again. There's a different key for each door. Figure out which one is the right key to open that one person. I think it's time to really give sense, to give purpose, and to give an understanding to the things that you're encountering in this lifetime. Mindfulness. That word is out in this world so often right now, but take your time and think about it. What does it actually refer to? How can you personally use that word? Mindfulness is not the absence of thoughts. You are not trying to get rid of the thoughts. Mindfulness means your mind is full. Mindful. It is full of something that you chose. You individually chose. This is my purpose. This is my intention of why I'm doing something. You do your work, put some intention behind it. You are speaking to a person, be clear about your intention. Why are you speaking to the person? You are texting something, be clear about what is your intention. Why are you typing it? And stop doing stuff in this world that doesn't mean anything to you and that has no intention. Because the whole point about why do I need this intention? Because only intention mobilizes energy. And why do we need mobilized energy? Because only mobilized energy is creating something. What do I mean? If you continue doing stuff without intention, the result is going to be the same. You create nothing. Yeah, so it's like you never sent the messages because they were empty. And so this is the moment now where you practice from the moment you wake up in the morning. Don't do unnecessary things. Brushing the teeth is not unnecessary. There is a purpose behind it. There's an intention behind this. You want your teeth to be healthy. That is an intention. You drink the coffee. You would like that you wake up a little bit more and be a little bit more active. Why do you want to be a little bit more active? Because with that extra power, with that extra energy, you can work more efficiently. You can work more. You can work better. You can do more things the whole day long. And why would you want that? Because you want to help. You want to contribute to something bigger. There is a whole range of intention that each individual can put into his daily life. Yeah, I can't say what type of intention you're supposed to put in there. That is the special part. That it is not about what you do. It is about how you do the stuff, how you are writing the messages, how you are communicating with people, how you are walking through this lifetime. It doesn't matter what you do. It's the how.
Thank you to everybody at mulliganbrothers.com, where you can now get the hoodies, the t-shirts, and the Inspire Change hoodies dropping very soon as well. And all those profits from the website, including the posters and everything, go back into making this content. That is how we fly around the world and film these projects for you guys. So thank you so much to everybody and all your support. And if you haven't yet, hit that join button down below. I'll see you in the next one.
It's the Tian Ren Di, the heaven, man, earth. Heaven, man, earth, which means the human is between heaven and earth. He's like the middleman between heaven and earth. From the heaven, he sometimes receives something, but only he has it. And now, what is he doing? Because he's in the middle, he brings this idea, this vision onto the earth and manifests it. Makes it real, for people to touch it, to see it. That I could right now say, I discovered for me. And since that moment when I really integrated this into my way of living, into how I walk through this lifetime, things are just effortless. Because I have the feeling that it's completely in harmony. It's not that I say I feel enslaved by something and actually I don't want to do what I feel I should do. No, I feel that just by having these ideas, by having these visions, and then investing my lifetime to try and make these visions that come from somewhere, to make them become real in the moment where I feel that it's just about, it's like you make your dream come true. It's like a wrong movie, It's like you write your own movie. Like this it feels. And it is so effortless. And I strongly trust that this is something very, very special that everyone is able to tap into. That is the important part. That is the very, very important part. And what is necessary, so in order to maybe understand a little bit more what I'm talking about, first of all, you need to spend time with yourself. How I sometimes feel inside. And it's one of the reasons why I meditate. One of the reasons why I sit down and I'm quiet. Because I need to listen sometimes. No matter how strange it sounds. Listen to what? Listen to what the next steps are. So what I'm saying is, if you invest a lot of your own effort, your own willpower, your own energy, your own work into something, but it's not your, sometimes we call it karma, or it's not your destiny, or it's not in harmony with someone's more powerful presence, that then it doesn't matter what you want. You're not going to succeed. But the greatest thing that can happen is you hear the message, you feel the message, you hear the call, and then you are taking now your lifetime, your 24-hour day, and make this call take reality. Because what it then means is there is a plan and you are here with your own hands capable of fulfilling that plan. Because when we talk about like this, what does a plan mean? What is an idea? What is a vision? First of all, it is something that every human, when he has it for himself. He has it inside of his mind. He has it in his imaginary world, let's say. But imaginary world means only one person knows about it, the one who has this vision. And therefore now, if you want to contribute something to this earth, to this world, I think the challenge is to bring something from this imaginary world that only one person has, to make it start and take form, that this idea starts to shape. Because only when it takes a form, only when it starts to shape, then it enters into the world where more people now can touch it, can see it, can feel it. So it's always about an idea which has no form yet. It's the Tian Ren Di, the heaven, man, earth. Heaven, man, earth. Let me put it a little bit more to the point. Right now we have 8 billion people in this world. Everybody has his own ideas and his own expectations, maybe, how he sees himself and what he would like to do with himself during this lifetime. So that means we have 8 billion different ideas. And one misconception maybe, or just something to meditate about, to contemplate about is, why would this world, why would this life, or even this universe, care about an individual's expectation about life? And now we are not just having one, we're having 8 billion individual expectations about life. We are talking right now about the creator of everything, the creator of the universe, the creator of the planets, of the humans, of the animals, of the plants, of all possibilities in this world. We are talking about this type of force in comparison to the expectation of an individual human. I don't think that this type of force is existing in this world in order to fulfill that individual person's expectation about life. I think it's the other way around. I think that you have been put here on this world as a small individual in order now to be open, in order to receive what that force has to offer you in this lifetime. Which means you are walking through this lifetime without an own idea, more or less, what to do with your life. You are open to receive what this life in a way has to offer you. And how do you know that you are getting these messages, or how do you know that you are on this path that I'm trying to at least present it a little bit graspable to you? Just imagine you are working on a project, no matter what type of project that is. You invest a lot of effort, a lot of time, and a lot of energy into this project. But no matter how hard you try, you are not succeeding somehow. Even though you watch around, other people make similar projects, but they invest way less energy than you do, but they are succeeding. It's the Tian Ren Di, the heaven, man, earth. Heaven, man, earth, which means the human is between heaven and earth. He's like the middleman between heaven and earth. From the heaven, he sometimes receives something, but only he has it. And now, what is he doing? Because he's in the middle, he brings this idea, this vision, boom, onto the earth and manifests it. Makes it real, for people to touch it, to see it.
If you enjoyed the video, please consider going to mulliganbrothers.com, where you can now buy the new Inspire Change t-shirts, the LFG t-shirts, the Hardest Worker in the Room t-shirts. Everybody who's been supporting us has made this project possible, and projects like this in the future possible. We cannot fly all around the world with our film crew and ourselves and do these interviews and documentaries without your support. So thank you very much. The support has been amazing and we appreciate it. Also, there is a join button down below where you can consider becoming a YouTube member of this channel by hitting that join button. Thank you for watching. Have a blessed and productive day. Go inspire some change, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.